Hey guys, so as you can tell by the title, we're going to be reviewing the new I Heart Makeup Chocolate Orange palette. It was a madness trying to get this palette, I'll tell you this now. I got the notification from Tam Beauty to say that they've got this new palette, so I went over to Superdrug to see if they have it in. Sometimes it takes a while before Tam Beauty send it to Superdrug, and sometimes they have it like straight away. So I ordered it to the store because it's free to do that, and it was just madness because I got a notification like the next day to say that it was dispatched, but then I didn't get any other notifications to say that it had been received by the store. And usually once they've dispatched it, they receive it the next day, and that just never happened. And I had to chase it up and ask for the tracking number, and then nobody had the tracking number. And it's like, but how can you not have a tracking number? The whole point of having a tracking number is so it can get tracked. Even if you don't give it to me, they should have it on their system, and they didn't. And when I finally got it, I still hadn't received a notification to say that they had received it in the store. It was just ridiculous. But I never seem to really have this problem with Superdrug and their delivery, so hopefully it won't happen again. But it was a bit irritating because once I finally got the package, and it does have the tracking number on the package, once I had tracked it, the day that I had received the notification to say that it was dispatched, I learned that it wasn't actually dispatched until the next week. So it was kind of like, why am I receiving the incorrect information? It was ridiculous. But as I said, hopefully it won't happen again. It hasn't ever happened before. Hopefully it was just a one-off, but that was that. And thankfully I've finally got my package. So yeah, so it came in this little box. It has Superdrug on it. It has the the information of what store it's to be sent to. And then inside it's wrapped in a lot of bubble wrap, and I always appreciate it being wrapped in lots of bubble wrap because I just do not want it to break. And this is what the packaging looks like. It says I Heart Makeup London Chocolate Orange Palette. I have checked it, I have not yet swatched it, and that's what we're here to do. We're here to swatch. So as you can see, it's a brown palette with orange detail, and it matches all of the other I Heart Makeup chocolate bar palettes. The design has like bar squares, and then it's melting into the brown chocolate bar itself. And on the back it has a sticker which has some of the ingredients on the back. So the palette itself, as normal, comes with one of these double-ended sponge tip applicators. I never use, but I do keep them because it came as part of the palette, so I always keep it. And it comes with an insert which has all of the names of the shadows. Not really something that I tend to use, too tough, but it's there. And then here is the palette itself. I really like this palette. As soon as I saw it, it reminded me of the Natasha Denona, I think it's the Sunset palette. I will insert a picture up here of that palette. One thing is, like, this yellow here is a little bit darker than the yellow in this palette, so do keep that in mind. You may say that this one is quite similar to a couple of the other I Heart chocolate bar palettes that they have released previously, and I do agree, but this one is a little bit more on the orangier, if that's even a word. It's more on the orange side rather than the others, which tend to be more on the brown side or more on the red side. So this one is predominantly centered around orange. Straight away, something that I noticed is the smell of fake orange. It reminds me of something from my past. I can't remember, like from my childhood. I can't remember exactly what it is, but it definitely reminds me of something that I have come across in my childhood. As soon as I smelled it, I was like taken back, because I really do recognize the smell, but I just can't pinpoint and put my finger on what it is that smells like this. I just can't remember, but it's not the most pleasant smell. I do prefer the palettes that smell just like chocolate. They've got one which smells like peach, and they've got one which smells like strawberry. I think that one's called like Pink Fizz or something like that. So this one smells like oranges, and they've got another one that smells like mint. So the orange and the mint one, I just do not like the scent of them. I just don't. I prefer the chocolate, the peach, and the strawberry ones. Those ones were really nice. Anyway, so let's get on with the swatches. I'm going to swatch every single shade. So yeah, let's get on with that. So the first shade here is called It's Mine. Then the next shade is called Clementine. That's literally my skin tone. Like, can you even see anything? Next shade is called Chocolate Orange. That's cute. The next shade here is called Ribbon. Okay, I like that shade. It's a shame it's a bit patchy, but I do quite like this colour. Next shade here is called Silky Smooth. Oh, this one's a little bit on the chalky side. Then we have Gift. Then we have a shade called Tap It. Then next we have Lush. Then next we have Segment. Oh, that one's a little bit on the chalky side too. Ugh. Then we have Pip. Again, just one of those shades that look so close to my skin tone. Like it's almost non-existent. Anyway, so then we have Orange. Then we have Smash. I really don't know where they got some of these names from. Then we have Peel. Oh, I like this shade. That is cute. Oh, it's a bit on the patchy side. Really flaky. Never mind. So that's that. Then we have Dessert. Then we have Nibble. And then lastly we have In One. That is so faint. So these are all of the shades. They're a bit on the chalkier side this time around, but with these palettes I do find that they are a little bit hit and miss. There's a couple which I will always draw to, and there's a few which I just tend to not draw to as much because I know that the colour payoff is not that good. Overall, I really do like the colour selection, but I do think that the pigment could have been a little bit better. I don't know if Makeup Revolution have changed their formula, but I'm just finding that a lot of the time now when I review these palettes, they tend to swatch quite patchy. Sometimes they end up going onto the eye really well. Sometimes they're just as patchy on the eye as they are swatched. So I'm gonna do a look with this palette. I usually do 2 videos. I'll do a swatch video and then I do a look, but I'm just gonna go straight ahead and do a look like real quick because I've got somewhere to go, so I'm gonna do that. Right, so got all my brushes ready, got the palette ready, and I've already primed my eyelids. And I don't usually use the mirrors that is in the palette because I do get afraid that I'm going to like accidentally smash the palette itself, but I'm willing to take that risk today. Anyway, so I'm gonna go straight in with Clementine. I'm just gonna blend that out. Then I'm going to go in with Orange. Okay, but it blends out to literally nothing. Ugh, okay, so let's go in again. Okay, that's a little bit better. So you may have to build it up a little bit, build up that intensity. Then I'm gonna go in with Peel. I'll focus this on the outer part of my eye. So I'm dragging it up, but it's not going to go all the way across. That's cute so far. Then using my flat brush and some fixing spray, I'm going to pick up Clementine. Is that Clementine? No, that's Chocolate Orange. Sorry, Chocolate Orange. I'm going to pick that one up and put that all over the lid. Okay, need some more fixing spray. I'm finding this shade a little bit hard to lay down. It just does not want to work with me very much. Yeah, I'm just finding that that shade, it's really being awkward. I mean, once you build it up, as you can see, it does show up, but it's a lot of hard work. Anyway, so now I'm going to go in with Dessert, and I'm just going to go in on the corner because I don't want that orange all the way to the corner of my eye. Just blend that out. Does that work? Now using a clean brush, I'm just going to blend out those edges so that the shadow blends into the skin, like where the shadow stops, it meets, and where it meets the skin, make sure it's blended in there. Now I'm gonna go in on my under eye again with orange and just, oh, that is so nice. Yeah, I like that. I really do like that. That turned out really, really nice. Okay. And then I think I'm gonna use Gift, see if this works. Just to accent that inner corner. It'll probably work better with fixing spray, and I know you've just seen me with some fixing spray, but I don't want it to be too bold. I just want it to be a little bit, so you may not be able to see it that good in the camera, but in real life this is just the right amount of glitter because I'm only going down the road. I'm not going out to a party or anything like that, so that's enough glitter for today. So I'm gonna go do my eyeliner, mascara, and I'll be right back. Okay, so now I have put on some eyeliner, I've put on some mascara, I've done my lips, and I've also sprayed my face to bring everything together and so it's not so powdery looking, because it can look a little bit powdery sometimes. So I don't feel like this is a must-have palette. I don't feel that way. I mean, some of the colors, as you saw, they didn't swatch that well, but even when I was putting some of those shades on my eyes, it was kind of like I'm having to blend them out quite a bit. There were other shades that I was having to build up because once I put it on and I blended it out, it was blending out into nothing, so I had to build it up a little bit more. And this shimmer shade on top, I had to go in a good few times to build up that color. It wasn't literally put it on and, you know, you're ready to go. It wasn't like that. Considering that it's an $8.99 palette, I'm not expecting the world. What I am comparing it to is their previous palettes, and there's a few palettes that they have in this range which are so much better than this, so you know, I'm comparing it to that. But I do have to keep in mind the price. It's only $8.99. it's not like a £30-40 palette, because then I'll be really annoyed. I really would be, but it's not. It's under a tenner. I can't expect the world, but I mean, I got there in the end. I didn't have to spend ages and ages and ages building up, but I do think that there are other palettes in the range that would give me this kind of color payoff with a lot less of the effort. So yeah, I am going to compare this palette to a couple of the others that they have in the range because they are very, very similar, and I just want to show what the differences are between these palettes. Now, as we already know, for those of you who already are aware of Makeup Revolution and I Heart Makeup and what they do in the chocolate bar range, what they tend to do is recreate other people's palettes. So when they first started the I Heart chocolate range, they were copying the Too Faced chocolate bar palettes, and now obviously Too Faced they haven't stopped making those kinds of palettes, but other people have come out with other things that they would like to recreate, so they put it in this range. So this one, as far as I'm concerned, I feel it is a dupe of the Natasha Denona Sunset palette, I think it is. Again, I will put up a picture just to show you why I feel that it is similar. Again, this yellow right here is a little bit deeper than the yellow in that palette, but yeah, I don't feel like this is a must-have. It's a nice palette to have, especially if you collect them like I do. I think this is this the 13th one? I think this is like number 13 if I remember correctly in the range. Crazy. But again, I will keep on getting them as long as they keep on releasing them. I will keep buying them and I'll keep on reviewing them. I will put my review videos of the rest of of these palettes down below. There's probably about 3 or 4 videos, because I did one video where I just reviewed all of them at that point. I think there was like 8 at that point, and then I have reviewed the others, so I'll put all of the videos down below. I don't think you need to run out and go get this, especially if you have one which is very similar to this, like the reddish one. I think that was the one that looked a little bit like the Modern Renaissance palette. I am going to make a video comparing anyway. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe and put me on notification, and I'll see you in the next one.